go. Maybe I can make it be a little bit bigger. It's weird because I wanted this to be legible, but it's not going to be legible too often. Anyways, this is a thing called Tabletop Simulator. It's what I'm using to make my Magic deck. It allowed me to use pretty much every card in existence up to a point. Once I've finished narrowing down all the cards that I might use, I'm going to get rid of any cards that are illegal. And by that, I just mean any cards that have been banned previously. More on that later. Anyways, hello, this is Zodiak Games, and today we are looking at making my Magic the Gathering deck. Well, I kind of already have a deck, but we're currently in version 0.02, actually. The way I do this is I just kind of put together all the cards with all the lands, and I get rid of lands and cards until I have a good distribution as determined by when I playtest it. And I'm going to be playtesting it soon, basically right now. Let's see, right now I am playing as games. So, to playtest it, I'm just putting it up against itself, and I'm going to see what works and what doesn't work with how it is right now. I have here easily accessible counters. This thing is going to be used to keep track of my life total, and here's the actual deck. Let's see. First, let's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. So far I have found that with this deck I don't need to worry too much about the number of lands I have because I draw a lot. So as long as I have a card like this one, Enclave Cryptologist, it's not letting me look up close to it, so let me go here. Cards that let me draw, I'm probably going to be fine. And so I think I'm going to keep this hand. And I'm just going to go over to here. A little bit annoying that it decided to do that like that. I might end up changing how the table is laid out. Let's do this. 7 cards. 2, 3, 4 lands, and the rest of the cards are fine. Okay. I usually decide who goes first by looking at the bottom card of the decks and seeing which one costs more. That one's a land, so if I just flip here, that one's also a land. Okay, we'll look at the next card. Also a land. There's a little bit of lag. Also a land. Also a land. We're just gonna keep doing this until we get at least one non-land card. Okay, so there's at least one non-land card. I think that's a 2 mana. And here's a 3 mana. Okay. So it looks like this deck will be going first. Let me just set everything back the way it's supposed to be. Flip it back up. The player who goes first does not draw a card. And let's see. Turn 1, I think I'm actually going to put out, it doesn't really matter too much, since I won't be able to play anything anyways, but, I guess I'll put out an island first. I don't need to do that anymore. I can now, here, now, this guy's turn. And I'm basically just going to be doing this, playing against myself. It's these cards versus those cards. When I'm making decks, the first thing I do is separate cards into decks that either work in helping me get to my win condition, or cards that do not. Magic, you tap lands to create mana, and you spend mana to play cards. So turn 1, I can immediately get out a creature. It should be noted that creatures cannot use their tap abilities or attack the turn they are summoned. You have to wait a turn before you can do anything with them. That's all I can do this turn, so I end. Draw. And yeah, so after I've separated the piles into cards that work towards my win condition and cards that do not, okay, so I'm gonna tap this for the mana, and I'm paying that mana and tapping 1 to activate this card's ability. As it says here, I sacrifice it to find a basic forest, plains, or island. In this case, it'll always be island just because these are mono blue decks, which means they only use blue cards. I forget, does it enter tapped? Yeah, I'll be put into play tapped. So I will literally be searching this library and just pulling the island directly from the library and putting it into the battlefield. It'll need to be flipped. And there's that. And then shuffle. And that'll be the end of this turn. But yeah. After doing that, I will kind of go through all the cards that work towards my win condition and figure out how I can have them work synergistically with one another. And then just kind of put them all together. And then after I've gotten all the ones that work synergistically, I will then find cards in the ones that work towards my win condition that also help me with survivability. And okay. I'm actually gonna play this card so that I can activate its ability, in which I tap it, pay 1 life, and then move it to my discard pile in order to, did I do it that way? Yeah. In order to do the same thing I did with that side, except this time the land will enter base, it'll enter not tapped, so I will actually be able to use it. So yeah, first win condition, the win condition and survivability, and I try and get as many copies of the same card as I can, because that'll also make the deck more reliable, which is very important to me. Okay, this is 2 land, as you can see there, so I'm going to immediately tap it, and gonna level this card up. To tell me that it's leveled up, I will actually be using one of these counters, and now it has this ability, so I can draw a card and then discard a card. Oh, that's weird. My computer's a little laggy, so sorry when that happens. And then discard a card. Of these cards, I think the card I'm the most interested in getting rid of will be I guess Sorry I'm spending so much time to think. I just try and make sure I'm doing things very efficiently. I might actually get rid of Terramorphic Expanse. I feel like of the land cards, that one's gonna work the least effectively towards getting me where I want to be. And since I get multiple cards of the same type, I also try to get as wide a variety of card art for the same card. Although there are some cards that only have one copy of, or one card art for that card. And when that happens, I just have to kind of deal with it. So I'm going to play my third land here, and I'm casting Mystic Study. I've added this card to my deck because whenever my opponent plays a spell, which does include creatures, they have to pay 1 extra, or I would get to draw a card. And in my deck, a large part of my win condition is just drawing as many cards as I can. Yeah. After I have done that, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, I start playtesting it to try and remove as many cards as I can. Once I've gotten down enough cards, I start to look at specifically artifacts, which I'm still organizing over here. I've currently got some that I know I'm definitely going to want to put into the deck. These are all ones that work towards my win condition, and these are cards that don't. So once I've gotten this narrowed down enough, it's a matter of seeing whether or not I want to integrate artifacts, and if I do, then I integrate them. Let's see, that's a counter, which suggests I might want to just not spend mana this turn, so I can counter whatever other me does. Because I can't get 4 mana down, so I can't get down Psychic Possession yet, which will be very good for me. Or I could play the island and do this one instead, but I don't think I need to, because I don't think that deck would be able to pay an additional 2. So this turn, I'm just gonna play the Bad River. It enters tapped, and I'm not going to level them up yet. I can actually do that during my opponent's turn. So if they don't cast any spells, I can spend the 2 mana to do that. Once I have integrated the artifacts that work towards my win condition, what I like to do is I will then do this entire process again from the start. Also, I should mention, lands are not spells. Draw. So I could do that to play Psychic Possession, which would actually be interesting because the other me does have Psychic Possession, but that's not the thing I should think about. Instead, I should be thinking about what I have going on right now and what they have going on right now on the field. Not knowing what's in the other hand, I think what I would want to do is just... Here's what I think I would do. I think there's 2 main phases, actually, so... Actually, that doesn't matter. Yeah, first, I'm going to take 2 land, tap it, to play Mind Shrieker. This way I have a creature on the field and can actually start using it to attack the other player. However, the other player is now going to... I'm just going to switch over to them. Knowing that they have this spell, they're going to cast Miscalculation. Now I would either have to spend 2 to counter that, or find a way of countering that spell otherwise. I don't have It should be noted though that as they're playing that spell, it does trigger Rhystic Study, although not until after everything resolves. So before that resolves, I'll be playing another island, spending the 2 to counter that spell, and then it resolves. This spell will go to his discard pile, and I will draw another card. After all that, I will then go through all the cards that do not work towards my win condition, just to see if there's anything that can help me stay survivable. Because what good is working towards a win condition if you're just gonna lose before you get there? As I am now out of mana, so that'll be the end of this turn. Awesome. This will put a card onto the battlefield not tapped. Or a land, I should say. 3 mana. That would create 3 mana in order to play her. This is a really good card to play. And since the other player has no mana available, they should not be able to counter. So, I think I'm going to... Let's first do this. I will sacrifice Bad River, which is its effect. Search my library and put down another land card. It's a very long process. When I playtest, I literally just do this 3 times over. I play the same deck against itself 3 times, and then I will figure out what works and what doesn't work. However, so let me just think about it. Oh wait, yeah, I will be playing this island for a turn, so I can spend the extra mana to stop them from drawing. Now this is not a creature until I have, you see these little blue symbols in top right? Those are talking about the mana cost. And once I have 5 of those, this will become a creature. Until then, its effect still takes place, but I couldn't use it to, like, protect myself, for example. That'll be the end of that turn. So it's a very long process, but it works. Normally I would actually not have it play against itself. I would have a different deck, but that would actually take a lot longer unless I was making 2 decks at the exact same time. This is just, I have that for a reason, but it doesn't really matter right now. Since I have a card for countering, I think I'm going to take this aside. I'm going to spend 1 mana to activate Lonely Sandbar's effect in order to draw another card. See if I can't find something better. Another 3 cost counter spell. I think I'm actually gonna play Evolving Wilds here and immediately use it by tapping it, which will this search. Yeah. Perhaps eventually I will be able to, but first I have to have other decks available. Wow, complete brain fart. I also want to mention, if people like seeing me do anything related to Magic the Gathering, I have been putting cards I find that inspire me to make a different kind of deck in its own separate pouch. So, in the future, that might be something I do. I eventually hope to find someone to play Magic the Gathering with me on stream. But for now, this is what I got. That'll be the end of that turn. Oh. Interesting. Oh, actually, before their turn ends, I'm also going to have them tap Enclave. I forgot I could do that in order to draw a card and discard a card. Okay. The card I would want to discard would probably be... it wouldn't be this one because it would have happened before. I guess Condescend is the one with the least potential help. I'm actually really glad I drew Overbearing Myths, because it works very well with Thassa in the sense of these are 5 blue and green mana, which count towards her thing. It'll also help me draw through more cards if I was able to get enough land. Honestly, I might even activate Cryptologist immediately in order to search for that land. And I didn't get it. What will I discard? Probably the fish. So unfortunately I won't be able to play it this turn. Instead, I have to play that land tapped. Instead I will be able to pay these 4 in order to play Psychic Possession. From now on, this player will not draw for their first draw step, but every time that player draws, this player will draw as well. That's what that does. It won't take effect immediately, because as he's playing it, this player will be drawing a card. So there's that. Let me do it like this. There. They had 3 mana, actually, now that I think about it. So let me just see. Right, they were going to spend 3 mana to cast Dissolve. This player does not have any way of preventing Dissolve from taking into effect. So actually, this card is countered, which is unfortunate. Sorry for all the back and forth. Their turn will then end. And Dissolve also had the effect of letting this player scry 1, which lets you look at the top card, if it'll let me, and you can either place it on the top or the bottom. In this case, I think I will be placing it on the bottom, if it'll let me. Again, it's a little bit laggy. Here's that. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to talk about, just because my friends and I are going to go see it, is the new Avatar movie. I'm very excited for it. It's I think it's supposed to be a remaster with never before scenes, which will be nice. I'm gonna pay polluted delta and immediately trigger its effect. Search. I really like Avatar. Not the Avatar movie that was about the last Airbender. That was god awful and very disappointing. Put it onto the battlefield. Cool. Just put it here. We then want to shuffle and go back here. I've now got 6 mana to play with. Of which I will be spending these 4. This won't really allow me to counter anything, but I might be able to make use of Mind Shrieker. Actually, I think I will. Once, I'll do that right now, actually. Tap 2. This will force them to put the top card of their library into the graveyard, and depending on its mana cost, it'll get a bonus to attack and defense. Defense doesn't really matter since this deck does not currently have out any cards with, yeah, it's 0, with flying and therefore can't defend against it, but still. It'll now attack for 1, dealing 1 damage. Should have been doing that the past few turns, but I kind of forgot. This is gonna get confusing really fast. This player draws a card. As a result, this player draws a card. Okay. This player untaps. This requires me to spend a mana to activate it. So instead of doing that, I'm going to tap this and try again to cast Overbearing Myth. It's lucky I drew a second one. Since I did that, also I should untap this. This now has enough things to actually be considered a creature. I forgot to check the top card for her Scry. Doesn't matter, I would have wanted to draw it anyways. Yeah. So these are now both creatures. Currently this is only a 2/2, which is not great, but that should be fine. I think that the Avatar movie is very undervalued, actually. I think that, also just gonna swing for 5. That means this one's gonna be at risk. Right, and because I played that card, this other player got to draw another one. I gotta remember that this player has out the enchantments that do the things. Okay. Now this player will be activating the Cryptologist in order to draw another card. And then discard a card. It feels like Impressive Will is not going to be particularly good for a while, so I'm immediately just going to put that down there. It'll have to be the end of that player's turn. But I think that the Avatar movie was greatly undervalued. Um, I know I enjoyed it when I first saw it in theaters, but for some reason, after that, it was very popular at first, but after that, everyone started hating on it. And I actually forgot how much I liked it just because of the sheer quantity of people who were talking about how much they didn't like it. I forgot also, I should not have drawn that card. Because this player no longer draws cards. So that'll go there. I think I'm going to activate another Evolving Wilds. I like Evolving Wilds because not only does it get mana onto the field, which, honestly, just for that purpose, it's not that much better than other land cards, because it forces you to wait a turn before you can actually use that mana. But it does do one thing that I think is very vital, which is actually getting the cards you don't want to be drawing out of your deck. You want to make sure that the cards you're drawing are ones you can immediately use and play. And after a certain point, mana becomes not very important. And it's for that reason I'm also going to be spending 2 mana. Maybe I should start separating the mana. To cycle Blasted Landscape and draw another card. Ah, another one of these cards. That's actually really good for me. Separate out this. This is 3 land. I'll start organizing them into groups of 1 and 2 and 3. I do have a reason for that. Yeah, that's fine. And I can't really use my 1 spare mana for anything. I'm going to not attack with Mind Shrieker, in case I can use it to defend myself against something without losing everything. Well, I won't actually be able to. No. I will attack with it. I will attack. It'll only deal 1, but it's the most I can deal right now. That, this player ends their turn. The idea, though, of like this... It's hard for me to talk about Avatar. I think that was a mistake. How about I get into the subjects that were recommended to me by people on the Discord? Oh, how you thought about doing podcasts? Maybe. So I need... Okay. Because of the cards I have on the field, I think that... Because I actually should have, what's it called? Scry? Should have done that first. I'm actually going to put this on the bottom, because I do have a decent amount of mana. And although I would like more mana, I think I'm going to draw into more mana anyways. Okay. Pick up. Now, I'm going to be drawing 2 cards for my draw step because of Overbearing Myth adding 1. So, draw. Yeah, that, like I said, I was immediately going to draw more mana. Unfortunately, this does mean that the other player will also be drawing 2 cards, because actually they'll be drawing, yeah, just 2 cards because of Psychic Possession. Okay. Now the untap phase. land for turn. The first thing that was asked of me from the Discord, oh, a little bit of lag, was that I talked about the economy of printer ink. I think this is a great topic. This is a planeswalker. They have special rules. I will say that all the information I have for talking about that topic, is going to be based off of my experience, which is by now a little bit old. So that triggers Thawing Glaciers. I am going to keep it separate from the discard pile because, wait, no, it doesn't go to the discard pile. Beginning of the next cleanup step. So that's just the end step. So when I do this, at the end of the turn, I'm going to be, that card is going to return to my hand. But until then, does it enter tapped? Battlefield taps, yes, it does. It lets me add a card, add another island from my deck to my hand. But yeah, it's all based off of the last time I actually dealt with printer ink, which was quite a while ago, at least a few years. So it's not the most, it might not be accurate. Perhaps the economy for printer ink has gotten better since back then. I somewhat doubt it, but it's a possibility. Also, when I cast this card, I need to pay 2 extra to stop the other player from drawing an extra 2 cards. Because of that. Now the reason I didn't put the counter on JCI is because I'm going to be using his ability, so normally he starts with 3 loyalty counters, but his first loyalty ability adds 2 more, and now we're both going to draw a card. Although they're going to be drawing 2 cards from this. So, 1, going over here, 1, 2. You can see how out of hand this combination can get already. Guess I'll then just have to attack for 8. They can't defend, so they're gonna lose 8 health. It always seemed weird to me that... Okay, so for... Printer ink is weird. Back what I remember, they don't draw for turn, is that, for some reason, it can actually be cheaper to buy a brand new printer instead of getting more ink. And I don't know why that is. I don't really know if there is any reason for that to be the case. Before I play land for turn, I also need to untap this. I will play Opt. They don't have the ability to counter. I don't need to think about that. Basically, that's just scry 1, and then I draw. This is going to be around that. Oh, I think I'd rather draw that. So it's gonna go back on top of my library, and then I draw it. Yeah, I think I'm going to now spend the 5 mana I need to in order to play this planeswalker. 6, 7. I already have 7 cards in hand. Although I'm going to be playing an island. So yeah, I'm going to then activate his effect, which is going to require a 5 token to draw a card and then have the top card of my opponent's... I didn't realize that's how that would happen. The top card of my opponent's library go into their graveyard, which is this one. Okay. Now, I don't think I have anything that'll cost only 2, unfortunately. That's 2 untapped lands. So unfortunately, I can't do that quite yet. Do I do this one? Actually, think I do. I think this is better for me long term. Although it does enter tapped. And you'll see why next turn. Or actually, no, I won't do that yet. Because I need to land in order to activate his ability, which can maybe save me from losing on this upcoming turn, because I need him to defend me this upcoming turn in order to not lose. But yeah, and I remember for some reason Magenta was weird because it's expensive, and on top of being expensive, it's necessary. Like, I don't know why it was necessary for you if you're printing in all black, but if you were, then if you didn't have magenta, then for some reason it just wouldn't print. It always seemed odd to me. Anyways, he has to draw 1, 2 cards. Good cards to have drawn. And then this player will also be drawing cards. 1, 2. They got some scary cards. This player doesn't have to really worry about anything. Ooh, this player's hand. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Here we go. At the end of last turn. Also, before last turn ended, before their turn ended, I should have done this. It's too late. Doesn't matter. I'll do it now, just so I don't forget. Draw. And I guess I will discard. The card I just drew. It's a good card, but it's not going to do me much right now. And because I drew a card, again, this player gets to draw a card. Draw. I should have done this in a slightly different order, actually. But it's fine. It's too late to change that. These also all needed to untap. And now I can start trying to pull some kind of shenanigans. By playing this card, this card. Now whenever he draws, this player will be losing cards on top of their library. And since this card will be drawing a lot of cards, they might actually run out of cards pretty quickly. Although it seems like this player will probably just win anyways. Yeah, why was that? Like, for some reason it needed magenta. That never really made sense to me. Let's spend these 3 mana. Just gonna do this. Gonna reorganize the lands. Also, when I played that land, it occurs to me because of Ristic Study, they got to draw 2 cards again, and they're about to get to draw 2 cards again because I'm spending that mana in order to play Dictate of Krufix, which will let me draw even more cards. Unless... now I think those last 2 cards aren't going to be, because I think this player would actually spend that 2 mana to stop both of them from being drawn. So these last 2 cards will be going back on top. Flip. This one. This one. Right. Because they're not going to be able to play cards like Oppressive Will. Probably. I do need to... Whoops. Now, +2 loyalty counters in order to activate his ability again. First, I'll have this player draw a card, which is going to trigger Jace's Erasure, which is going to erase the top card of this player's deck. And then they're going to draw a card as a result of Psychic Possession, and then the effect that was actually played. They just have so many cards already. For land, I guess it'd be best to play Floodplain. Now it's hacking for 9. This player is going to spend 2 mana to activate Mind Flare. Let's see. I know little to nothing about Magic, so I'm just dropping by to show support. Loop the Pig. Welcome, Greedy. It's nice of you to drop in. And that did nothing, but they still have to block in order to not lose. They're obviously going to block the 5/5, meaning they take another 4 damage, bring them down to 2 health. Really unfortunate for them. It's crazy because they have all the cards, but they don't have enough things on the field to survive. Yeah, that ought to be the end of this player's turn. Let me see. Why is it that they're not being able to play cards? They have a lot of mana. They're drawing the cards, so they should have cards to play. I don't know. For their card for turn, they're going to be playing this land, since this land is actually going to generate a bunch of mana. Watch. By spending 2 and then tapping them, right now it would generate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I'm not going to do that yet, because I can actually make it generate more mana than that by playing other cards. Just have to make sure to always have 2 unspent. So I'm going to play this creature to protect me. I'm going to play... What's this? 3? Spend these 3 to play Geist of the Archives to protect me. And I'm going to play... I don't have anything else to play. Yeah, let's do another loyalty counter to try and trigger Jace, the Planeswalker's effect to draw a card. Crap, it's another land. And mill the top card of this player's deck. Now there's a limit of the number of cards you can have in your hand at a time, which is 7. So let's see. Is there any reason for me to not spend? Yeah, there is, which is all the instants. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 cards that I really don't want to discard. Which means the rest of them I don't particularly care about. Which in turn means I'm going to go ahead and end my turn here. And let's see what cards we should get rid of. Islands are an obvious first choice. How many cards is that? 3, 6, 9. I need to discard 2 more cards. Guess this one. And unfortunate. I guess Warped Landscape will be the next one to go. Now at 7 cards, that's the end of that. The other thing that was recommended to me over Discord was that I talk about magic systems in media. But first, let's untap everything. Because a lot of stuff is about to happen. First off, I'm going to be playing or drawing 3 cards, but let's do this one at a time, or not. I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's also untap this card and this card. So why am I going to be drawing 3 cards? 1 for turn, 1 for Overbearing Myth, and 1 for Jace Balerion. When I do that, the other player is going to be drawing a card, discarding a card, drawing a card, discarding a card, drawing a card, and then discarding a card. Or no, discard, then draw, discard, draw, discard, draw. Because of the order at which things trigger. I'm just gonna first draw these 3, this part doesn't matter too much. And then this player going to first lose the top card. Draw a card. Lose the top card. Draw a card. Lose the top card again. And then draw a card again. Oh, this is the same land that they got, and it's even crazier for this side. So that's obviously going to be my land for turn. Although I might not play it yet. Yeah, before I do that, let's actually finish up with everything. I'm not even going to bother continuing to scry, because scrying is good, but it's just a lot to remember. let's trigger that card, so I will draw again, and I will discard a card. And that actually might change what land I play. Reliquary Towers lets me keep all the cards in my hand. Jace Balerion will trigger again. So we will both draw another card. Games. We'll first lose a card. Flip. And then draw 2. I think we will then just go straight into the attack phase without spending any mana, because I want to keep as many cards in my hand as possible. So right now, 3, 6, 7, 8. This is an 8/8. So attacking for a 13, which they have to block or lose. Neither of their creatures can block and survive, so they will both be destroyed. However, they do live another turn. 3, 6, 7, 8. I don't need to play it this turn, so actually I do think I'm going to be playing this land for turn. Spending 4 to play. I guess I'll do that to play Thieving Magpie. I should be able to win even sooner then. And anything else I want to play? Anything with cycling? Ah! Yes. I can spend... Oh wait, but if I do that I won't be able to... Yes, I will. Put them onto the battlefield. Okay. Let's actually go ahead and activate this card now, just so that I don't forget and don't have any issues with mana. And it's going to be adding one more island, and it enters non-tapped. So the deck I've built has multiple functions. The first and foremost is just to try and keep itself clean of cards I don't want to draw. Constantly removing cards I don't want to draw, so that I can make sure whatever it is I do draw does the thing I want to do. So now tap these two to discard this card and draw again. Although I also need to shuffle. Right, I forgot. So I played a card this turn, which means they're also going to be drawing 2 from that. Oh, that's really tempting. I don't think I want to do that yet, though. This player is now will first get to draw 2 cards and lose top card again, and then draw another card. Anything else I can do? Let's see. If I do that, I won't be able to play these spells on their turn. I think it's worth it to save them for now. So that'll finally be the end of that turn. So talking about mana or magic in different media, I want to talk about first, like, how magic is portrayed. It's usually shown as requiring you to do something. what that thing is changes. But it can be something like, it's usually broken down to being somatic, material, and I've got the other word, but it's like motion. But then there's also what I call like the Bard method of art. Music kind of counts as somatic. Somatic just means using sound. That can mean with words or instruments, I think, in my opinion. Although those two should be categorically separated. So, somatic is you say the magic word, and then the magic happens. How many cards do I actually want to keep out of what I have? 1, 2... Actually, that just means I should play the other things first. That's the exact same thing. And those are counter spells. Right, I think first thing I'm gonna do is trigger their Planeswalker again to try and get a better card. Draw. Kind of helps. Flip. And spin that. That helps me get something onto the field that I can use to protect myself. And spend these 4. Play Thieving Magpie, which gets me another thing to protect myself. However, actually, upon playing Thieving Magpie, this player is going to want to do that and play. Let's see, probably Oppressive Will, spending 3 of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 15. So they'll have 12 left over. And this player would either have to spend 5 mana or not have that into the field. They're desperate enough that they would have to do this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which leaves them with only 2 remaining mana. However, that would also enable them to draw another card because they cast 2 cards actually, because they cast a spell. Or no, because what would happen is they're gonna spend the 2 extra mana. They have 12 to play with. So this player does not get to draw any extra cards for that. And only having 2 mana left over. Oh, that's terrible. That's game. This player loses. Which is amazing, because they had such a strong lead. So that's the thing. So I consider the idea of somatic, material, motion, and okay, so somatic sounds. Material is basically just in order to cast this, you need to have you need to have a thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that the thing is eaten up. It could be like a wand. It usually means it's eaten up though, where it's like, that's kind of what potions are. It's magic that costs you materials to do. Wait, did I already delete those? Yes, I did. here. Flip. Try and have them all end up on top of this. And then I'll flip this. Let's try and reset this back up to 20. And I guess wands would really be more about the motion, but I don't really think of it that way because when I think of motion, I think more of you do something with your hand and it creates the effect. And then, like I said, art and calligraphy is like a bard, where it's just, you know, they make a painting or they sing a song and it causes magic to happen. Why is that not working? There we go. Flip. Yeah. Shuffle. The thing about material though that makes me think of is, in addition to that initiation, there's different ideas for cost, like what it takes to cast the spell. I always think it's better to have a cost. So what does that mean? Well, a cost would be like it costs you energy to do it, for example. Also, that's a terrible draw. I'm gonna give myself one free mulligan. So I'm gonna do it this method, where it's just put on the bottom. And then, okay, how's this as a starting hand? Not the worst. Like, yeah, it's a lot of land, but 2 cards that'll at least draw me more cards. I think I'm gonna keep. Also, starting with Reliquary Tower is always decent. Gotta change. Okay, starting off. Mostly lands. So I think that this is a sign that I might need to decrease the number of lands in this deck. Yeah, I'm gonna take my 1 free mulligan. Through. Flip. Grab the deck again. However, you then get magic systems like you see in Harry Potter, where it's entirely free. Like, it doesn't cost you anything to cast magic, it just, you do it. I really do not like that system. It feels much less, interesting, you know? This is a good starting hand. I'm pretty sure both of these are gonna have lands on the bottom, but let's figure out who's going first anyways. Flip. Yeah, like I thought. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's breakthrough. X's count as 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, wait. The other player will go first because they have a card that costs mana before this player does. Before this player did. Ah, lag. The cost can be anything. It could be, like I said, material cost. Or it could be something more like, your life, energy, mana. This is the play that I was going first. There's 101 different interpretations that you could go off of. Start off with, I'm going to play this card, then activate its ability and sacrifice it in order to lose a life. So I forgot to... it's not going to matter as much. There we go. There's the land I created with that. These are all going on the bottom anyways. Now I can just put them on top and shuffle, because that's what that card does. After that, I have to shuffle. There we go. Then I can tap that 1 mana to play Serum Visions, which lets me first draw another card, and then scry 2. When you scry, you can put the cards on the top or the bottom in any order you want. I'll be putting them both on the bottom. I don't need more land. I like to think of the cost in terms of when you're paying it. I think like material cost was something you would consider as being prepared. The cost is getting the things ready and setting everything up. Like if it's a ritual, for example. Then I think of pre-cast, which is also kind of like while you're casting. Draw for turn. That's really good early start. Opt. Yeah. This turn is basically going to look identical, in which I play and then sacrifice this in order to do and that's gonna cost a life in order to do the exact same thing. So we're gonna search. Oh, a little bit more lag. So precast is like when you cast it, it takes energy or life or whatever. Then the effect happens. That often means like if you aren't able to pay for it, so I'm spending the 1 mana to play Opt, then it's often there's a consequence, like death, or just you're exhausted and you can't do anything, or the spell fails, or something like that happens. I'm gonna keep that on top. There's also another category, which would be post-cost, which I do think is fine. It's like when your magic isn't coming from yourself, it's something you're being given by some otherworldly being. Okay. I can play this, tap this, and tap this, and do the same thing, which I sacrifice that land in order to find another island and play it tapped. I'm doing it this way instead of playing that land because other than my 2 copies of Visions of Beyond, there's nothing I can play, and this uses up all my mana effectively, which is really what you want to do. Now, yeah, the postcast is like the Warlocks, you know? You can use all the magic you want right now, but the more magic you use, the more it's gonna cost you later. I love that kind of system. I'm literally going to do the exact same thing with Grixis Panorama. So, this is tapping. That goes, taps, sacrifices, search. Yeah, so this is really is a sign that I need to get fewer islands in the deck, I think. Or maybe I need to remove a different land, but probably going to be islands. In general, I actually try to avoid the postcast method. Like I said, I'm more accepting of it than I am of the magic is free method or a system. Because at least there is something that happens to you for using it, like, for using it irresponsibly, I'll say. Another Visions of Beyond. That's actually really unfortunate. So I don't want to spend them until I have enough cards in my graveyard to make use of them. Actually just gonna shift these around. Yeah. Actually, yeah. I'm gonna use the same thing with this card, because this is the same kind of thing, just for a different selection of basic lands. But it's still, one of those lands is still islands, so I can still do this. Actually, the Gathering is an example of the, I would say, precast, although there are sometimes exceptions. Certain cards show or imply a different thing. But overall, that is the kind of vibe it gets. Is das Mill? It is Mill, yeah. 272 deck size. Yeah, right now I am trying to playtest to figure out how, what cards are not good in this deck. That's just how I like to figure things out. I am literally playing against myself, but that's mostly just because I don't have anyone else to playtest this with me. We can start playing non-land manas now, which is great, and I'm about to do some... The turn after this one is going to be where things start getting nuts. I'm going to start off just with Sphinx's Tutelage, though. And you might get to see why this is an amazing card. I play that by doing that. Yes. Actually, can I play that? Yeah, it's only 3. Just had to double check. Mill decks are my personal favorite, just because they feel the most unique to me. Draw. Oh, good. Finally something that's not a Visions of Beyond. So it only takes 2 to cast. So I'm gonna do that. I can either do this to try and get more lands out of my library in the future turns, or I can do this and try and scry and get a more immediate effect. I think this is the better play. I can't use it until next turn, but it should help me at least, like, get things working. It's then gonna be the other person's turn, and things are gonna start getting weird. Untap, draw a card. When I draw, it's gonna trigger Sphinx's Tutelage, which I look at the top 2 cards of this deck. Are you playing the card where you win if you have like 200 cards? No. Battle of Wits is an amazing card though, and I might do that later. Unfortunately, these are both lands, so it doesn't trigger. If they were 2 non-land cards of the same color, I basically just get to keep doing that over and over again. But it's fine because for card this turn, I'm playing Reliquary Tower. I can now hold infinite cards, which is going to be very important because I'm going to be spending these 3 to play Rhystic Scholar. Now, whenever the other player draws, I will also draw, and whenever I draw, they lose cards. So it's a self-feeding cycle. That's actually just the end of that turn. So, see how ridiculous this gets. This player draws a card. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. This player draws a card. Trigger, this player draws a card. Trigger, Sphinx's Tutelage. Whoop. That's weird. One of them was a land card, but they did manage to get rid of this player's Sphinx's Tutelage, which is good. And now this person gets to resume their turn. It gets out of hand pretty quickly. Now these cards are a lot worse, because when they draw 3, the other player will also draw 3, and then they will have to mill a minimum of 6. Okay, 2, 1, 1. I don't have anything I can play yet, so first thing I'm going to do is do that, which is going to put another land onto the field. Search. Rhystic Study isn't on card draw though. Rhystic Study is. Rhystic Study is when your opponent draws a card, you also draw a card. Always. Whenever an opponent... Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I was mistaking it for a different card. Thank you for catching that. Luckily, it'll still trigger... Will it? No, it won't. Because this player would just do that. Okay. That's unfortunate. Thank you for catching that, though. That's gonna be putting these cards back in then. Luckily, it doesn't change this, but that's really unfortunate. Also, the card that they drew needs to go back into the deck. Okay, everything is back. Thank you so much, Fluffy Belzinef? I think that's how that's pronounced. Thank you so much for noticing that, though. It's still going to be pretty crazy, because it's still going to mean I won't be able to play a lot of spells without consequences. Luckily, I can't play a spell yet, which isn't really lucky, but whatever. This, does it have tapped? It does. When it enters, scry 1. So, okay, after shuffling, what's the top card? A land, that's gonna go on the bottom. Lag. So much. Just call me the name you know. I'm gonna call you Fluffy. More lag. Don't know what's causing that. Probably just the fact that I have 2 decks of the size 264 that I'm using. That'll be the end of that. Do either deck... How many? 6 and 3. Well. Might as well scry right now, actually, using this starfish. Since it can't attack, there's no real reason not to. Let's take a look at this. But again, we're moving that to the bottom. Just trying to get through all the lands until I can actually draw a card I want. It does mean that... Actually, maybe I should have put that on... I think I actually would put that on top, knowing that... Oh, that's not what I meant to do. But because, I know that I'm going to be losing the top card anyways. Lag. Why? There we go. I'm gonna go play some Ghost Exorcism. You know you can always ask me to playtest stuff, man. You have fun. Cool. See you then. Let me know, say that again on Discord, just so I can be sure, it's sure of who you are, and maybe we can figure something out for next week? Yeah, maybe next week. Untap that. So, unfortunately, I was wrong about Touristic Study because I thought it was a different card. But on the bright side, that does mean I do get my draw for turn. Immediately triggers. And flip. There we go. Rest of the turn. Let's see. Bad River, I think, would be better for now. And how much do I have on the field? 4. So if I play this, I won't be able to play that. However, this will allow me to get through lands faster. No, I think I'd rather save... Well, actually, no, because I could still do miscalculation. So yeah, I will spend the 2 mana. 1 can be separate. Necessary in order to play Dreamscape Artist. For no other reason than I can use miscalculation to counter whatever spell's coming up. Let's see now. Oop. Draw. Start untapping things. I'm already drawed for two. That's unfortunate. Well, let's, I guess, start off by activating Flying Glaciers to get another land onto the field. Yeah. Just gonna have to shuffle them. Did they play a creature? They did, but they're not gonna attack with it. I'm not gonna be able to draw yet, so I'm actually not gonna activate the Starfish. At the end of my turn, this returns to my hand. Let's try keeping that organized. Unfortunate. End turn. Fun. Thanks, you too. Start of this turn, draw. Let's see what these cards are. Flip these over, and they go into the discard. Psychic Possession. This is the card I was thinking of before. So I'm immediately going to play it. Now I don't draw during my draw step, I draw whenever my opponent draws. I'm also going to want to activate Bad River. There's something I could have countered. Right, okay. Search. Okay. I think that at the end of this game, even though I want to play one more game just to make sure this, just to get the proper feel, I will be ending this stream. But you don't need to worry about that for a little while. He actually won't be able to use his ability yet. Also, I need to shuffle. Let's attack for 1. I could block, but I'd actually rather not. Take 1. Then at the end of that turn, they're gonna trigger this so they could scry 1. Flip. That's something they're gonna wanna put on the bottom of their library. See, like I was saying before, so this deck is multi-pronged. First and foremost, what it tries to do is get rid of all the cards it doesn't want to draw, aka the lands, from itself. Second of all, it draws as many cards as it can possibly manage. Third, it will actually make it so that the more cards it draws, the more it removes cards from its opponent, with cards like Jace's Erasure. However, so they drew Jace's Erasure, now this Insanity triggers, which this player gets to draw a card, and then mill 2. Flip. Both lands. And that. So this player is going to attempt to play Jace's Erasure, which is not going to work out because this player has counters. Oh wait, they don't have enough land to do the counter spells. So actually that does go through. And now whenever they draw a card, the other player will be milling a card. Then, let's see, how many are in here now? 12, and in here are 4. Unfortunate. I think that with that, they're gonna play their land for a turn, Falling Glaciers again. Like I said, it's to pull as much land out of the deck as possible. With that, their turn is going to be over. This player's turn starts, and they're gonna not draw for turn since they now have Psychic Possession on in play. However, they can untap everything. Let's see. 3, 4, 5. Let's see. They're gonna pay 4 to play another Psychic Possession. So now, when their opponent draws, they draw 2. Or they draw 2 cards, I should say. Actually, one of these land mana should not be blue, just off of, like, just in general, that's how that should go. This person should have paid an extra mana to stop this player from drawing a card. I forgot. Rustic Studies, I forget about very easily. Ristic, not Ristic, Ristic. I will say there is a issue that can happen where if both players have Ristic Study, they can get into a situation where neither player gets to draw any cards ever. And I don't know what the rule is for when that happens. I think that is an automatic draw if neither player has any way of hurting the other player. Hurting, I should say. So yeah, Flying Glaciers will be their land for turn. As that turn ends, they're going to activate the Starfish so they can look at the top card. And they're going to put it on the bottom. So much lag. Okay, I'm just gonna not put that back. They will draw for turn, triggering this player to draw 2 cards. And since they draw 2 cards, Sphinx's Tutelage is gonna trigger 2 times. Which means 1, 2, 1, 2. Flip. Okay, it doesn't get to have to do the repetitive thing yet. There are now 16 cards in that discard pile. Actually want there to be more. I don't have any more ways of getting what I want out of that. Now, yeah, I also get to untap everything. Also, when he drew, this player's top card goes here. I forgot, that technically should have happened first, but didn't really matter. I can either spend these knowing that just one of them will get me to the point where the other ones will draw more cards. Actually, do I do that? Knowing that I'm gonna... Yeah, I have a bunch of cards. Okay. We will spend 1 mana to waste one of these cards, which will trigger them to, first of all, draw a card, and then this player will have... Since Tutelage will trigger, flip these. That's the end of that. How many's in here? 19. Their turn now starts, and they get to draw 1 card. Which is also going to trigger both of this player's Psychic Possession. So they will draw another 2 cards. And actually, before they draw 2 cards, technically, the Jace's Erasure will trigger. So there's that. Then that went in there. Now, there are 19 cards? Right, it's gonna... They had to play... Oh. That's an interesting thing. This might be something I end up doing. I have not that much mana. So we're gonna spend another mana to play another Visions of Beyond. Now I think that because before its effect activates, the effect that lets this player draw should activate. Which will kill another 2. And this time, it did the thing. They're both non-land blue cards, so Sphinx Tutelage will trigger again. Now they're both land cards. And now there's more than 20 cards in there. This should now draw 3 cards. So, I'm gonna say... Okay, so 1... This player gets to draw a card. top 2 cards get milled. It starts to get very risky. Draw. Flip. 2 cards. Flip. Oops, I thought I would still have to have it selected. And then the 3rd card gets drawn. That happens. And they have their final 2 cards milled. Flip. Unfortunate. Now let's see what I can do. I think return. I'm actually best off playing Reliquary Tower. This way, doesn't matter how many cards I draw, I don't have to discard any cards that I actually want. Do I do the other Visions of Beyond again? I guess it might be better now than to do it later. Oh, right. Each of those times... Okay. Second one of these cards should actually have gone in there. Flip. That should go there. This one will go in their hand, and this card will go in here. Because I need to remember they both have an effect that does that. Played land for turn. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You do that, and then say 5, and then... No, it's not worth it to try breakthrough yet. I trigger another Visions of Beyond, as risky as it is. This player is going to draw another card, which causes this player to lose another 2. Then it activates. Oh. Not bad. Okay. First draw. Goes here. And then they draw a card. And then they lose 2. Oh. It triggers again. Unfortunate. Because I would really like to have one of those cards. Okay. Second draw. Flip. Flip. Wait a second. Actually, this player should be drawing twice as many. Okay, we'll just start from here. They need to have 2 more cards in their hand. So we'll just flip these, put them in, and he needs 2 more instances of that happening. Okay, one of them gets repeated. Yeah, flip. And then the final draw. Which mills 1. They get to draw 2 cards. And then the top 4 cards get milled again. A lot of cards just gone to waste. 2, 3, 4, 5. I should have done this first. Oh well. It's not gonna make that much of a difference. Search. This is gonna pull a land out of the deck again. And I have, I think, 3 mana left to play with, right? And this puts it, yeah, tapped. Flip. Tapped. Although, let's keep it separate. Then need to shuffle. Now what do I do with my remaining 3 mana? I can try doing this to get better draw, although that's kind of suicide. Because each time he draws, he actually loses more than the other person. This is a really bad situation, because what I need is to draw very specific cards. So let's see. Since it doesn't make much sense for him to attack, might be best to play Rustic Study, which is going to be all my mana, which is actually going to trigger their Rustic Study, but I think I have to. So they draw again. And I lose 2 more cards. Oh, that's terrible. It's another 2 cards, and I actually wanted... Well, actually, that's probably a better path, Planeswalker to lose. Unfortunate, though. This player does have Reliquary Tower. They also will never need to discard their hands. Let's start by untapping everything. Oh right, I almost forgot that it's gonna go back to their hand. Played Thawing Glacier last turn, so that's why that's there. Not really care too much about anything that scries. Memory Erosion helps to keep them from casting spells. And Sorcery makes things cheaper. Before I do anything else, I think I need to play Dictate of Krufix. So now, even though this player does not draw, this player will have to draw 2 cards at the beginning of their turn, and which will cause this player to draw 4. Which is more times that Sphinx's tutelage will be triggered. In fact, I think that is going to be the reason this player will spend, would just kind of spend another 3 to play the other Krufix or Dictate of Krufix. So it's going to be 3 cards that player draw, and 6 cards that this player draws, and 12 cards minimum that gets dropped from the top of their deck every time, at the beginning of every one of that player's turns. Like I said, it escalates very quickly. And they're not going to pay for either time that they cast, which means this player gets to draw 2 cards. It is going to allow this player to draw 4 cards. Oh wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. have enough mana to play anything, and I can't play a land for turn because I already played a land for turn. So they drew 4 cards, so Sphinx's Tutelage triggers 4 times. And for each time that this draws 2 non-land cards, it's going to trigger again. So that's 1 extra trigger. There we go, and I thought those were lands. At the end of their turn, this player will activate their Starfish to look at the top card. It's another land, so they're gonna end up putting it on the bottom. It's gonna put it here for now. Beginning of turn, they're gonna draw 3 cards. So the first of 3. Now this player gets to draw 2 more cards. Which is going to trigger Sphinx's Tutelage twice. Okay, that's that. Second trigger, or second draw. This player gets to draw 2 more cards. Flip. Which is going to trigger this twice again. Also, I'm forgetting top card should actually be milled first. So, there. I'm just gonna do it now. Doesn't really make that big of a difference. And then the third and final draw. So draw, Jace's Erasure, doubles Psychic Possession, doubles Sphinx's Tutelage. And Sphinx's Tutelage will trigger an additional time. Let's try getting this on the bottom now. Now, it looks like this player will finally be able to actually play something to get them back into having a shot. Did that player play anything? That last turn? They did. No, I already drew for that though. Okay, yeah, no. Yeah, I so much to keep track of when you're playing 2 of this deck. First and foremost, I think they're just gonna play land for turn. And spend 3 to play their own Sphinx's Tutelage, which in theory should be enough to get them back on track. Do they pay the extra to keep the other player from drawing? They will. Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Just testing out Magic the Gathering decks to try and get one that works better than what I have. I need something that allows this player to draw more than the other player if this player wants to really have a shot at winning. To that end, I think they're going to activate Scaldic Torn, so they play it, tap it, sack it, and then search for a land. Which goes on the battlefield untapped, actually. It's strange. They need to pull cards out of their deck in order to get the cards that they actually want, but they're also trying to make sure they don't run out of cards because the other player is just throwing them all away. This card would be suicide right now. The one counter spell. Do any of these lands have the no, none of them have cycling. So how much mana do I need to save? 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I have 3 left over. How much is it to trigger Sphinx Tutelage? 6. How much is this? 3. They can spend 3 to play Psychic Membrane, which in theory could draw them more cards, but it's unlikely. Actually, you know what? They wouldn't want to play that because that would cause their opponent to start drawing cards again. They're actually just going to end it there. This player does not draw cards for turn. Full stop. That's really good. Let's untap everything again. I think I said, here we go. Here's another one of these lands where I can play it and immediately pull an island from my library without costing me the amount of mana that I could be playing this turn. And since it's not a spell, they can't do anything about it. You changed your name? Well, cool, I'll try to remember that. Eyaka. It's a cool sounding name. Island. What is that? Go down here. What do I do? This player wants to draw as many cards as possible. But also, me, the person playing this, wants to stop having so many cards in hand. So many counters that I'm probably never going to want to play. This could allow me to start drawing cards on my turn. That card might be worth playing. Costs 4. Well, let's do it like this, actually. 3, 4. Instants and sorceries will now cost less. And that leaves me with 3 mana. 2 of which I will now spend to play this little guy, which will actually force them to draw even more cards. Tap this. And tap this, which will, at the end of the turn, put it back in my hand. I might as well do that now so I don't forget. And that'll put another island onto the battlefield. It's interesting that the first game ended with a player 1 taking out all of the life or health of player 2, and this one looks like it might end up being a deck out. Because yeah, Okay, this player is gonna have to draw 4 cards. Upon drawing the first card, or that back on top. Upon drawing the first card, this player is going to first suffer from Jace's Erasure, then Sphinx's Tutelage, then, oh, Sphinx's Tutelage is going to trigger again. Flag. Why is it not doing the thing I want? Okay. Flip. Now, this is the first card. This player draws 2 cards. Flip. Because of that, Sphinx's Tutelage over here will trigger twice. And that was for the first card draw. The second one, Jace's Erasure, Sphinx's Tutelage. Sphinx's Tutelage will trigger again. This player draws 2 cards. On average, this player should still be, this one over here, should still be losing more cards per turn than the other player. Okay, Sphinx's Tutelage will trigger again. That was card 2. Card 3 out of 4. Jace's Erasure. Sphinx's Tutelage. Oh, that was one too many. Okay. Psychic Possession. Sphinx's Tutelage. Okay, Sphinx's Tutelage again. I think that was card 3 of 4. So this is the 4th. Oh, whoops, I accidentally said deal instead of draw. That last one should actually be there. And the rest of the people I got rid of. Okay. That was also not right. That technically should still be on top. That goes there. Okay. Jace's Erasure. Sphinx's Tutelage. Psychic Possession. And hopefully finally Sphinx's Tutelage. No, there's one more trigger of Sphinx's Tutelage. Yeah. Okay. God, that's insane. This player at least drew a specific land that should actually help them quite well with getting back on track. Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx. Let's see. That's land for turn. Anything with Scry. Actually, you know what? I probably would have played... never mind, doesn't matter. Do I care about keeping any of these cards? I don't know if I do. I think I should just cast Breakthrough before it becomes a problem. So, 2. This will be... Okay, spending 5. And then 1 extra to stop the other player from drawing this turn. Or drawing the extra card this turn. and that's to play Breakthrough. Since they're not drawing for this an extra card, this player gets to go straight to drawing 4 cards. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Cards they're going to be keeping. Alice Dismissal. Let's see. Teleran wins because if I can get it to work by getting the cards I want, that can be that could win the game. Looted Delta. And I guess Dissolve. The rest of these cards all get to go to the discard pile. There we go. Now, because he drew 4 cards, that's 4 instances of Jace's Erasure. And 4 instances of Sphinx's Tutelage. Really, no extra triggers, apparently. Oh dear, this player now gets to draw 8 more cards. 5, 6, 7, 8. Drawing 8 more cards means they get to trigger their Sphinx's Tutelage 8 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's see. These do not trigger it again. None of these will get to trigger it again. None of these. Okay. Only one of the instances are triggering an extra Sphinx's Tutelage. God, so many cards just went through. These cards can now all go back to the hand. This is what we have left. Not enough. There's 2 counter spells. That's something I'm gonna have to keep in mind. 1, 2, 3, right? 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there any way to only spend 2 mana? No. Luckily, I can trigger this on my opponent's turn if it comes down to it. Okay, if this player's turn starts and they don't get to draw, let's just do that. And do this. So much stuff. Okay. Preordain is a pretty good card to start off with. They're just going to spend the 1 to cast Preordain. And they're not going to pay the extra mana, so this player can draw an extra card. Which causes this player, well, which first causes that, and then that Sphinx's tutelage, which triggers this player to draw 2 cards, which, so many things, causes another 2 triggerings of their own Sphinx's tutelage. Which is gonna trigger again. Okay. Now the spell effects can actually happen. It's gonna be scry 2 and then draw a card. 1, 2. Look. I don't really care about either of those. They can both go back on the bottom. Just to save time, because I know I'm going to be doing more stuff this turn. I'll just leave it like that. I can go down here. Serum Visions. Not spending the mana to stop themselves from drawing an extra card. Or stop this person from drawing an extra card. Trigger Jace's tutelage. Jace's erasure, Sphinx's tutelage. Psychic possession. Sphinx's tutelage. Just so many cards get absolutely destroyed. Sphinx's tutelage will trigger again. It's unfortunate because some of those cards are what this player actually needs to win, to turn things around. Which, as a result, this player will now. Oh god. Stop lagging. They will draw for turn, which will trigger another Sphinx's tutelage. Which will trigger another Sphinx's tutelage. Then they get to scry 2 again. I don't care about either of those. We'll flip that. Maybe these should be on top of these ones. Put those there. And Serum Visions. Finish triggering, can go here. Oh god. Astral Recall. They spend 1. Then they're not gonna spend the mana to not have their opponent draw a card. Which means that they have Jace's Erasure trigger, as well as the Sphinx's tutelage. And then they get to draw 2, because uses Psychic Possession. Which means Sphinx's tutelage triggers 2 more times. So much. Which triggers Sphinx's tutelage again. Which triggers Sphinx's tutelage again. Oh, God. Actually, it's better for this player if they target the other player. So they have this player draw 3 more cards. One, 2, 3. Which triggers Jace's Erasure 3 more times. So much lag all of a sudden. That also triggers 3 instances of Sphinx's tutelage. It's gonna trigger another instance of Sphinx's tutelage. It is gonna trigger another instance of Sphinx's tutelage. Now they get to draw 6 cards. Which means Sphinx's tutelage triggers 6 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1 more triggering of Sphinx's tutelage. And that triggers another instance of Sphinx's tutelage. It's just, they've ran out of so many cards so quickly. Or they haven't run out yet, but they are running out of cards so quickly. They're going to attempt to play Power Sync, knowing that that will win them the game. Or that's not Power Sync. Where's Power Sync? No, not Power Sync. What was it? Solarian wins. This is the other player's opportunity to not lose. Let's see. You're gonna tap 2 and create 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Oh, that does not feel very good. Anyways, that 4 mana is going to... You're gonna spend... I guess... Yeah, is this the only one they have? I thought they had another one. It's not. Yeah, they had this one. Okay, they'll spend that to cast 3 of the 4 to cast Dissolve. Let's see, can they get through it? They'd have to have a counter spell that they can cast, and they currently have 2 mana. If I did that, they would be able to cancel just by paying 1 mana. That one costs 3. Wait, no, I have 3. Oh no. 3 mana. Convolute. This player. Do they have any way of countering Convolute? They should have 1 leftover mana. You can tap this to get a second mana. They have 2 mana right now. They can try Power Sync, but the other player only needs to pay 1 mana. Do they have 1 mana to pay? Actually, technically, yes. They play their land for turn and tap it. All that goes through. This player discards however many cards this is, draws that many cards, and Sphinx's tutelage will be enough to absolutely destroy the remainder of this player's library. Which means, after all this, this player finally wins. Wow, that went absolutely insane. Sorry that went too long. I'm noticing that the big problem right now is if this was going up against an aggro deck, it doesn't have a lot of survivability. So off camera, I'm going to be working on that more. Thank you everyone for joining. Remember to join my Discord in the description down below. If you want to be able to vote to decide what I'm going to do, or participate in the art events. Right now we have the Draw Yourself as a Villain art event. That's all in Discord. Do all the YouTube things. You already get the idea. And I guess I'll see you all next time. Oh boy.